Hey everybody, it's your old pal Jason. Welcome to another Friday in the Boneyard. It's been a minute, hadn't it? Sure it has. You can probably see I got a shovel and some dirt there. Guess what I've been doing? We're going to take a trip. It is the tail end of oh my gosh, hurry go season, which means we're also in the gotta spend all the money in the budget or we lose it season, which I think is dumb, but you know, that's how it goes. Anyway, somebody backed into our fence again. A bus hit this last year, and somebody else hit it this year. Except there's actually a police report filed for this one, so we got him. You know what I mean? Problem is that down there, that's water. That's a water line right there. And they've got to replace pretty much from the break in the fence there by that telephone pole all the way down there. But to do that, you've got to rip up these old posts. You can't even get these anymore. And they got to pour in some new posts. Which means that water line, 200-ish feet of it, needs to come out. That's not a terribly big deal. As you can see, a lot of it's just sitting right on top or just slightly underground. It's kind of one of those things like I could grab that and just lift, and a lot of it would come up. One of my first major projects working here was working on this water line. See that? They had all these little itty bitty sprinklers over here doing just a horrible job. So I spent a couple of days and just came out and changed them. Now the situation, all that has to come out. We're gonna replace it all. And have I ever mentioned to you guys in these videos that the people who had this job before me, what's a nice way to, they were nearsighted, short of vision, we'll say. So to get water to this water line, because it feeds from two places down there and then it feeds from over here. That's smart, right? Well, here's what they did. They came off of this 2-inch pipe here, and then they reduced down to 1 inch there, and then elbowed, and then elbowed. And then this comes out over here to right about here, and then it elbows again. And then it comes up this way to right about there, toward elbows again, takes off down that way. There was a sprinkler right here, right behind this tree, which is a good place for it if you want your tree to get nice and watered. There's one here. There was one there. There's one there. And there was one here. Now, these guys, these little 3/4 inch gear-driven sprinklers, throw about 14 paces, 14 of my steps. So this guy just about stops at where that yellow flag is. If you can see it. You probably can't. It's almost behind the tree. It's over there somewhere. And goes on to the next every 14 paces all down the row there. So this one sprinkler has taken over the job of like 4 others this way, and then like another 4 or 5 that way till the next one picks it up, right? So this is my plan. I'm sure it'll be fine, but you know, that's right there. And I know why they did that, because they didn't want to be digging so close to this tree. That makes sense. That's fine. My plan is I want to come as straight as I can this way, which is right about there. I'm going to have to dig through tree to get where I'm going pretty much no matter what. Even over there, roots have grown on top of that, I'm positive. So I'm thinking, excuse me, if I can't come straight, I can come at a little bit of an angle, but you see there? That's root from that tree. That's root from that tree right there. I don't want to mess with these folks' roses too much, so I'm going to try and skirt, if I get my way, I'm going to try and skirt just as close as I can to those roses. But here's the thing. I also have an option to kind of do what they did, but not do it so dumb. Because this just stops. That's an elbow right there. It just stops. This could have been shorter by like 4 inches, and then they wouldn't have needed this. And this is 2-inch pipe, and that's damned annoying to thread, and I think it sucks. So, had it been me, I would have gone and just bought a shorter piece and just ran that way. But this guy doesn't really need to be here, because I'll have one over there. There's one right there. There's one right there. And there's actually 2 over here. One of them doesn't need to exist. You see that? One just to the right of that fence and one out there in the yard. So, here's what I want to do. I'm going to get a shorter nipple to go in here. I'm going to tee off in 2 directions. Like, if they made an elbow for this, that'd be awesome. And when I say an elbow, I mean it's an elbow. It's like a 90 with a stem on it, you know? Goes like this and then has a piece sticking out the top. And I'm going to basically use this pipe, but not this exact pipe, but sprinkler right there. And that guy, he's going to spray far enough to go outside the fence there and to that yellow flag right next to the road there, which is going to be fine because everything out here is going to get covered by the other 3 sprinklers. This guy won't have to spray across the road anymore, which makes this more efficient. Not having all these bends is going to make this more efficient. But then I want to just run this 2-inch that way, because right now, here's what it does. Comes this way to right about here. So, 7-8 feet. And then it goes this way. About 13-14 feet. And then it goes that way. But the first sprinkler is right about there. So there's 30-ish feet, 15-ish feet, 10-ish feet. I'm just going to say 50 feet. That's 50 foot of line that's not doing anything. Or it doesn't have to be there. So, that can all get cut out. And, again, more efficiency, man. I'm all about efficiency. So, logistics, you logistics people, looking at you, UPS, FedEx, you don't know what you're talking about. That's why you guys ship things the way you ship things, because it might make sense to your bottom line, but it doesn't make sense to actual, physical shipping. I told you guys that story. I live in Idaho, okay? I ordered something, came from California, so let's California, we'll say that's here. We'll say Idaho's right about there. So this thing came into California, went to Salt Lake City, which is just 3 hours from me, then to Memphis, then to Denver, then to Salt Lake, then to me. Because logistics, that's why. Because of course that's the best way to do things. What are you talking about? I get angry sometimes. And it's not like, oh my gosh, I need this stuff right now. It's just you could charge less for shipping for everybody if you just think better. There was no reason for this to go bloop, 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 bloop when it could have just gone bloop, or even bloop, bloop. Aren't you glad UPS doesn't like run an airline or something? God, that'd be terrible. Anyway, so back to what I talked about being end of year, spend all the money before we lose all the money stuff, because that's how municipalities work. I've got to go get a bunch of parts, just stock up for what I used over the season, plus get ready for next year kind of thing. And I need to know what I'm going to do with this. So, I have my plan. You guys have heard it. I think it's a good plan. The only part about my plan that sucks, is this stupid pine tree. Because that means going down that way, I'm going to have to either dig under or cut through roots. And that is real close. I mean, that shovel's pretty much in line with the pipe. And it's going to be just a pain in the neck. So, if there was a way for me to cut like that way, but I don't want to do that because, number one, there's people buried there. And it is a lot more digging. So this might have to be something that we come up a little ways to like here-ish. And then I can do a 45 degree and come right over here-ish. And then do another turn and then go this way. But, you know, that's still a heck of a lot of pipe that doesn't really need to be there. But even if I come across straight, you know, floop, floop, that's a lot of pipe too. So if I could come out and 45 it, and then for it again, that's probably going to be the best way to do it. It's still, I'm going to have to deal with this stupid tree. But I think it's going to work for the best. I really do. And then we're going to leave this pipe 2-inch, probably till just past here. Maybe right about this telephone pole or so. Probably right in here somewhere. Oh, there's the. And then we'll reduce it to like 1.5 inches and go about halfway to the gate, and then we'll drop it back down to 1 inch. It gets us more volume, more pressure. Gotta trim this tree. I think I got some trimmers. Let's do that. Let's trim a tree together, just like we used to in the old days. It'll be fun. You think it won't, but it will. Look at that. It's like I was ready for it. Let me tell you something about these. You see this little, like, toothy, geary thingy? It's supposed to be on there to make this work better. Like, work easier, right? Well, I don't know if you've ever done some science with this. I took one off completely, and no difference. Like, if it moved, that would be one thing, but it doesn't move independently of anything. So it's not like it's really doing a heck of a lot. I think the fence guys will appreciate this too. I don't have to do the fence. I just gotta do the water. I almost think I'd rather do the fence, to tell you the truth. It'll be fine. It'll be just fine. Come on. There you go. This is not easy to do one-handed. It's like I gotta push something and hold on to it at the same time with 2 fingers that are not attached to my own hand. Anyway. Now you know the plan. I have it documented. That way, if this all goes horribly wrong later, I can say, well, look, guys, should have listened to me in the first place. My plan was beautiful. It was brilliant. But no, you never listen. I'm like the scientist in a disaster movie. Coming in early. No, you can't do that. It'll open a hole in space-time and everybody's refrigerator will become sentient. And all of our eggs will go bad at the same time. Think about a world with no eggs. And they would laugh and pat me on the head and say, oh, you silly, silly man. That'll never happen because we're going to do it out of phase, they will say. And I will say, out of phase, you're mad. I, for one, won't stand for this. You know? It's just like that. Every day. After this gets kind of the once over, I do have to do some watering before I go home today. And I've got to do some mowing. I don't remember if I told you guys about the sewer pipe they're going to run through the cemetery. I'll have to tell you about that today too. So you're going to be in for just the complaints and grievances episode of Friday in the Boneyard. Special Labor Day edition. That's a little better. A little bit. Anyway. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the If It Ain't One Thing, It's Another show. So, you may have noticed some marks on the ground. That's good. It's good and bad. And I'll tell you why. Let's go turn off the radiation device here. Okay. Reset the nuke counter. Here's the thing. I got looking at this after I made our last video. And I got thinking, I think there's a better way to do this. Is that sprinkler? Right there. Look at high def fingernail action. That sprinkler? I thought, well, why don't I just go up there and then go over? That'll work. And since that's on a 2-inch feed line, surely that line just runs all the way down there. Because all of these graves, these are new. Originally, it stopped right here. So like that makes sense. You run the line all the way up, you go both sides, and then you choop, choop, choop in from there, right? So I come and I dig this little guy up. Thinking, all right, I can make this work. This will be great. Well, you see that not quite diode on the ground there? This sprinkler feeds that way and then stops. Which, good, because I'm going to move it right here, because it doesn't need to be in the middle of all that, because none of the others, just that one. So it's going to get cut, moved back here. But no, that main line that should be right here, it ain't here. So my little tracer, that thing in the case over there, it says that line comes all the way to here and then goes down there, goes this way. Let's take a walk. When was the last time you went on a walk with a stranger, huh? But really, aren't we strangers anymore? And then it's right there. So all of these sprinklers, main line, and then it comes here and then goes that way and then goes that way to feed that one sprinkler and then the fence over there. So this is probably all 2-inch pipe based on my poking around with my poking stick. Some people call it a probe. I'm not a professional. Yeah, so now we got to plan B it, because I can't really go, like, Lamar wouldn't appreciate it if I went right up next to Lamar here. And I don't think Florence is going to appreciate it if I go in between them. So what I could do is we come this way and we go that way, which means I got to dig it up here where nobody's buried. We cut, splice with a T going that way, but then I have that tree to deal with. Or we cut, splice, put a T there, go this way to where that sprinkler was, and then we go this way. Because Wilburn and Bertha here, there's nobody buried here. This isn't even a grave space. Bertha's stops probably right about here, and Wilbur's stops probably right about here. So I got about chat to run all the way up. Gets me away from this tree. I can go up to the fence. I just tee off to run that one sprinkler. It's tree roots, but it's much less annoying. And then I can take off down that way. But I don't think we're going to do that. So now I'm thinking our best bet is going to be to cut like right about here. I need to see what we have for grave spaces here, so I'm in between them, and then go on down that way. Wonderful. So I mentioned, that's probably terrible. They're going to be running, where those flags are? There's going to be a sewer line right there. Right there. And it's coming in right there. They're getting ready to run it. It's going down over to there. And then it's cutting across this way. And I hope somebody checks that, because if that's going straight, that ain't gonna jive with what they got going on down there. I don't know if they're gonna have to like come across and then cut and then over, because there's a ditch right there that runs, you know, like that. But it's gonna run all the way down back that way. You can see it, I'm sure. Use your imagination. And well, I mean, like, it's gonna follow that ditch down that way. It's gonna go all the way down. We're still going. Let's not get carried in the video. Oh God, what? God dang, people stopping to talk to me. I'm making a video for YouTube. Okay, so it's gonna go down there. And then right about here, we're gonna tear up this little bit of road. It's gonna go under the road. And then it's gonna go out this way. And it's, depending on who you talk to, I've heard this is either going to take like 2 weeks or 2 months. So that's going to be great. Anyway, I got to go get errands, run, and crap. Bye. I'll just go run some errands real quick, grab a bite to eat, be back before you know I'm gone, he said. But the world had other plans for our hero.